without reading, maybe you won't get a job because almost all of the jobs are you have to read.
I like reading because we learn.
I like reading because you get information.
You can read fantasy stories, sad books, happy books.
I like reading because it's fun.
Gets into your mind sometimes. It happens to me sometimes.
I don't know which one was mine. Oh yeah, it went back to the right page. Okay, so that was the first stage. And the second stage is catharsis, and this is when the students make those connections and then they're then inspired by them. So they've made a connection and then they're like, oh, well, you know, I see how they went through their thought process, maybe I can try that. Or I see how they dealt with bullying, maybe I can try that. So now they're starting to gain skills and knowledge, and they're gaining, kind of making those connections that will help them then to make some changes if needed in their own lives. And if they don't need to, then it still allows them to kind of empathize and sympathize in different situations, which for me, when I've experienced it in my third grade classroom, it just made us be, we became a lot closer in our classroom. We had a better understanding of each other. It was easier for me to say, to be respectful of your peers because they understood what that meant. And so through these different types of texts, we were able to really kind of hone in on some of those kind of elephant in the room type of feelings when we went through these. And it wasn't anything I did consistently. It wasn't anything that there was necessarily, I tied it into the curriculum because you can use different stories and different books to talk about sentence fragments and punctuation. You can use different types of text to tie it into the curriculum, but there wasn't necessarily a set of books that I used. I just kind of would come across them every now and again. I tried to do something like this once a month, and it really, really helped us become a family. And so this next video is I think it's about 3 minutes long, and there are lots of different quotes that some of them will give you guys chills. So we'll watch this one. And you guys just have to read them. You guys see them? Okay. moments, some thought processes that may cross our minds, some of the different experiences that we can gain just from reading in general, and then writing as well. Okay, and then the final stage, the third stage is when you finally discuss the book. So you've had the opportunity to kind of look through the book and make your own connections. You internalize some things and begin some kind of internal type processing. And even if it's just a thought processes, even if it's just considering the problem in the story and how you would have done something differently, that is all part of what it means to be a part of the book. And so this stage, after there's discussion, obviously for us, we will apply it to writing. And there's other questions that probe to instill in students that they have some autonomy of what goes on in their lives. It provides students with varying viewpoints and problem-solving approaches applicable to their own lives. And that, for me, is one of my biggest things, because sometimes kids feel like they can't do anything about it, and I feel like I'm not that much older than a lot of my students, and I'm like, man, I thought I had it bad in third grade. You know what I mean? Like, our generation has changed so much. So I guess that's why I'm so passionate about being sure that I provide students different opportunities so that they have the understanding and the realization and the belief that there are other options, or that there are some things that they can do, even if it's, you know, little, even if it is reading a book so that your mind can take you there, even if it is writing to express yourself so that you feel better about the situation because you can't talk to your parents about it. So whatever the situation is, I guess that's why I'm passionate about it, because those are the types of things that were able to help me when I was younger get through different times. And this last one is, what can I do about my life and how do I feel about my life? And this one is a doctor, and she's reading a book that deals with bullying. And so this would be a prime example, I think probably for maybe older students, to kind of get a feel of what it would be like to go through this process. And then again, it just talks about everyday problems that everybody is going to face at some point in their lives.
All night I've been awake, thinking of the day ahead, dreading going back to school, knowing how bad it would be. When the morning came, I crawled out of bed, but I didn't get any further. I've got to get up, I told myself. I've got to get ready to go to school. But my body wouldn't obey. I sat on my bed, not moving, unable to force myself to do anything. Dad called me several times. Eventually he came into my room. "Come on, son, it's time for school. Get dressed, you're going to be late." I stared at him. I hardly understood what he was saying. Something had suddenly snapped inside me, and I knew that I'd reached the end of my tether. He kept repeating the words, and eventually they penetrated my brain, and I reacted. "No!" I yelled at last. "No! I can't go back! I can't go to school! I'm never going to that place again!" I broke down completely and started sobbing then, and gradually, very gradually over the following days and weeks, I told my parents the truth about what had been happening to me all those years.